Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So on today's episode, we're going to be removing the front axle on this Blazer. If you come over here, you can see I already got this one out ready to go. Like I said, this spindle is bent and stuff on this side, and that one's got a blown up axle. So, plus if I'm not mistaken, this is a 86, and that's an 88. In 88, they went to a 30 spline axle, and then 86 they were still a 28 spline axle. So this might have the bigger axles in it. So I want this front end because it's a little bit stronger. I plan to put a 400 small block in that truck, so I'm gonna need a little bit bigger axle. Thought about going Dana 60s in the front, or Dana 60 in the front and a 14 bolt in the rear, but I can't find any at the moment. For the truck here, first thing we're gonna do is remove the shocks off both sides, and then the steering link, and remove the brake calipers. And we're just gonna set those off to the side and put them on the other axle so we can still roll it around. And then breather tube, and I'm gonna cut these U-bolts because I got the other ones off, but it took 2 hours, and I really don't want to mess with that much time, spend that much time on it. Anyway, I have a lift kit for the other truck, and it comes with new U-bolts, so I don't need 2 sets of U-bolts. And cutting them will go way faster than messing with it, trying to take them off. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is take this tire off. We got here, we're pull the caliper off. Got 2 bolts back here, they're Allen. Figure out what size, and we're gonna pull off this drag link here. And then we're gonna disconnect the drag link. Shock's already off, out of the way. Then we're gonna pull the calipers, just set them off to the side because they're gonna go back on. And we're gonna cut the U-bolts off. But what I'm gonna do is disconnect the drag link and everything. We're gonna set it down on the jack stand. So the axle should only be about 1 inch off the ground. And then we'll cut the U-bolts off. All right, so like I said, there's an Allen right there. It's a 9mm. Pry off the caliper, like so. That. Alright, it falls off, and just set it over to the side, out of the way. So it might be easier to get to this drag link. You rotate the steering. There's a cotter pin right here. Usually what I like to do is grab it with the cutting part of these because it bites real good, and just pull, and you come right out. This nut should be a 15/16. You just, well, everything on this truck's tight, so. Okay. There's a couple ways to get these to break loose. You can have a tool and use a pickle bar or something like that, or you just get a really big sledgehammer and just hit it right here at the bottom where it slides in. Give it a couple of times, and it should break free. I need to move the camera back and get a longer swing on it. that. Should pop off. Move it out of the way. So we're gonna cut the U-bolt, so try to have everything out of the way for that. And then let it down. It should stop on the jack stand right before the axle hits the ground all the way. See, just like that. The jack stands, you still got a little bit of give, so we'll just reach in there and cut those U-bolts. Truck's on jack stand, and it's only gonna fall about an inch before it hits the ground. So that's how you do that. We'll jump around to the other side, get that one busted off. All right, so we're back at removing the axle on the K5 Blazer. You got the passenger side. I didn't film this because the only thing here is the brake caliper. It's the only thing that has to come off. So you might just think you just start hacking off U-bolts, but it does have some kind of, you want to do it in the right order because you don't want to get in a pinch point where you're going to drop it on yourself. So what I've done this before, so what works good for me is you crawl under there and cut the back two first, and then you come to the front and cut the inside one. That way you can cut them from under the vehicle, and then when you cut this last one that's going to drop the axle, you can be out here in the wheel well where nothing's going to fall on you. You can just reach in here and cut it just like that. And that's what I found is the best way, the safest way to do this without dropping an axle on your arm or getting in a point where you get bound up in between the steering linkage and stuff. So we'll jump into doing that. I'll probably do this side first and then go over to the driver's side. Same as I was saying on the other side. You do the back inside ones first and the front inside, and then leave the outside one for last. So you can just, like I said, get out here, be out of the wheel well, just reach in there and just cut it. And it should go pretty quick and easy, as long as the batteries don't die in the grinder. So I'll crawl under the vehicle and we'll get this taken care of. They're under tension, so they'll pop like that. So, but it'll still hang there with the front two. But first time you do this, it might scare you. So, just like that, got the back two. Jump over to the other side, do the other back two. Over to this side. Like we did on the other one, we'll just bend that shock up out of the way. There's a brake caliper there, so I'll drop it on my head. And then pop loose. Almost out of, well, we need a new disc. Pop, just like that, there it goes. Like I was saying, the front one's kind of hard to get to. Or I mean the inside one front. And that's why I said save the outside one for last. Oh, and I broke a disc. That's cool. And that happens. Alright, so back with new cutting disc. Hopefully this one doesn't break. Only got 2 left. I'm gonna try a different angle this time because it seems like that might be my problem. So there's that one. This one should go a little easier. For one, the steering stabilizer isn't there, and 2, this is a longer U-bolt. Alright, so there's that one. Alright, so like I said, for the last one, the axle is going to drop, so that's why I saved this one, because look, I'm outside the truck, away from everything, feet are clear, so we'll just come in here. And just like that, axle is down and on the ground. So when you move over to the other side here, and we'll do the same. So just stay clear of everything, and there you have it. Just like that, axle's out and on the ground. So now we just gotta pull it out of there and roll in the other one so we roll this Blazer out of here. So I'll set up and we'll pull this one out. All right, so U-bolts are all cut off, axle's out of there. Next thing to do is just pull all the loose U-bolts out so you can get the axle to roll out from under the vehicle. You just like put that. It'll all pull out as long as they're not too badly rusted in there. All right, we got the axle over here. I'm gonna spend some time cleaning up the floor so it's easy to roll around, and then I'll get back to you when we're ready to put it back in. All right, so we got the old U-bolts from the other axle. I'm just gonna run them through the wire wheel real quick, hopefully help clean it up a little bit so it goes on easier. All right, so as you can see, I got the axle supported on 2 smaller jacks, and I just did that so we can help slide it in there a little bit easier. So what we got here is now, see the pad. It's almost right there, but the pad's about lined up. There's pins on the bottom of the axle here. You have to line it with those holes there. These holes here. So we're gonna go back and forth and jack it up. We get those holes lined up. All right, so pretty much let this side, passenger side down since there's a U-bolt in there. We'll jack the driver's side up again. So I'm gonna pull the axle or the leaf springs over. Go. Good chickens, go. I got chickens trying to get in the shop. Always trying to get in here. that. We got our pop down in there. This U-bolt in there. Like so. Squeeze it together with this channel locks to get it up in there. It's like that. All right, the next is the steering. Now the axle is up where the U-bolts are holding the axle up. And then we'll put this nut back on. Give it a couple ugga-duggas. As so. And there you go. Alright, so all that's left with this thing is to put the tires on it and push her outside. So, grab the tires and put her back on. Alrighty, that finishes off the axle removal of this K5 Blazer. The other one's gonna be over there. We'll probably do a build video on it. We're gonna rebuild it. New gears, new U-joints, new axles, stronger axles. So that'll be coming up on a future episode of Frostbite Garage. So if you like this content at all, just like, subscribe, leave a comment. This is probably a short video, just a quick how to remove an axle out of a K5 Blazer or any square body Chevy. Pretty straightforward. So we'll catch you next time. Till then.